I want to tell you today why speculation cannot make you rich, why you cannot get rich from speculating, why investing and building a business is really the only way to reliably get rich, even though it might seem like some practical, pragmatic advice. In this video, what I want to do is I don't want to tear apart this commenter because I think he's got some practical and pragmatic advice. And on the surface, it seems like good advice. It seems like a good idea, okay? So, but I want to take this apart, and I want to show you exactly why, or talk about exactly why, that this premise that a lot of people preach, that a lot of people think of that's pragmatic and practical, is not actually correct or true. Gerson Rod replied, and he said, best if you don't speculate, but if you must do it, 1, create a separate account only for this purpose. 2, don't put more than 5% of your assets. And 3, never move money from your investment account into speculation account, especially when it's going up. Nothing wrong with speculation, and it can get you rich. That's what I disagree with. Greatest danger is thinking you're investing when in fact you're speculating. First of all, Gerson, great, balanced opinion here. Nothing that I want to attack you, but I think you're probably a smart guy, probably have a lot of wisdom. At the surface level, very pragmatic advice, except for this one thing. And this is the false premise, the false belief that causes people to speculate like this and doesn't provide any value, right? You wouldn't really speculate if you knew this, or you would speculate differently. Let's just get into why this isn't and what I'm talking about here. Let me give you some scenarios, and I'm going to use the cryptocurrency, forget about Bitcoin, because I know a lot of you are like, well, Bitcoin is the old thing. There's other new cryptocurrency. Okay, fine. Whatever. Let's say that you're investing in crypto. Let's say that you've done your research. You know what kind of crypto investments make sense, and you're going to make some crypto investment. Okay, so let's say that you have, I want to use some numbers that are probably realistic to some of you, because I would use $1 million, but most of you don't have $1 million. Let's do this. Let's say you have $100,000 to invest. I'm only going to put 5% of my money into it. Okay. So I'm going to put $5,000 into my crypto investment here. Now, so how am I going to get rich from this? What kind of returns do I need to get rich? Okay. Let's say it gives me a 10% return. Well, that's $5,500. Okay. If we compound that, right, we can do some calculations. Let's see what this is. So say that our principal is $5,000. Okay. No annual addition. Let's give years to grow. How long are you guys investing in crypto? Realistically, like 10 years. Okay. And let's say that you get a 10% return rate. Okay. We're going to compound it. So your 5,000 became 12,000, 1,300. Let's say $13,000 over 10 years. Not so good. Oh, but wait a minute. We're speculating here, right? We're going to get higher returns than 10%. We're going to get some kick-ass fucking returns from cryptocurrency, right? We're going to get some 25% returns. That's our okay. So $46,000. So 10 years. And really, 10 years is a long time for this kind of an investment, okay? Or for a speculation, okay? Again, we're going to speculation. For an investment, 10 years is a moderate to short period of time, right? For an investment, right, we could do like 30 years, right? Like we're investing in real estate, it's an investment. It's not a speculation. A speculation has to have some kind of a, shorter end, right? Yeah, for 30 years, yeah, okay, we get $4 million, all right, at 25% return. Even 20 years, look at that, we're at 433. But we're looking at crypto, we're looking at speculations, like, okay, because we're looking at getting rich. And when we say getting rich, the only point of getting rich is getting rich quick, right? Or at least in a moderate amount of time. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, given enough time, and this is what I'm going to talk about when I talk about the wealth triangle, I can get rich, anyone can get rich given enough time and compounding interest. It doesn't, there's no benefit to that, okay? So let's look at some other scenarios here, okay? Let's say, all right, well, crypto is going to fucking kill it. It's going to do 50% returns per year. Okay, now if you're speculating on crypto and you're hoping to get like 50% returns per year for 10 years, right? That's pretty insane. But let's just look and see what would happen. Okay, so now we would have $288,000. Are we rich? No, not really. $288,000. No, not rich. Okay. Plus, when you pay 50% taxes on that, well, I do even with my long-term capital gains, but 30% taxes, not going to look so pretty. Okay, so what if crypto is even better and it does 75% per year? Now we could potentially get rich in 10 years, right? But we're looking at $1.3 million. This is not really rich. Okay. So you got to get this kind of return for 10 years straight. Now, if you're only going to get it for 5 years, which is more like a speculation, you're talking $82,000. Okay. The thing with compounding is you need time, really. Even with very high interest rates, it's you still need a lot of time, right? I mean, you could play a lot of scenarios because, I mean, how long are you really investing your crypto? It's not 10 years. Come on, guys. It's like 5 years or so, right? And even if you're getting 100% return for 5 years, you're going to get $160,000. Yeah. Now, if it's obviously doubling every year at that point, but these are not realistic numbers, even for speculation, right? And you might say, well, maybe it's going to go up like 1,000% in 5 years' time. Okay. So again, if you take 5,000 times 1,000%, okay, and we're just going to use 1 year in this case just to do the calculation. The 5,000 becomes 5,500. Let's say it took you 5 years for that. Okay, that's 1,000% return, right? Again, you can just use these numbers. Let's say crypto is going to go up 2,000%. That's an insane amount, right? Okay, so again, your 5,000 becomes 105. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, this is what I'm saying with this here is the reason why is okay. If we went back to some numbers, some reasonable speculative numbers, if I'm going to speculate in something, I want to see like something like maybe 30% return. Okay. And if I could do that consistently over 10 years, okay, but I put the full 100,000 into this. Now watch what happens here. Now this is going to be, okay, now we're at 1.3 million. Now, again, this is a 30% return, okay? And we're not rich, even with $100,000, okay? But, and guys, if you're still paying attention here, good, because I haven't even gotten to the good shit yet, okay? This is just the basic stuff, right? We're coming up on something here, but I want to show you what happens with $1 million first, just so you can see here. So we'll just add one more zero to this thing, okay? Now you're at $13 million. Okay, now you're rich. You're at $13 million. You're rich. Okay, but you got to invest $1 million. Okay, even like I said, even $100,000, right? Even when even when you put this return up, even a little bit more, let's say 40%. And I'm really hesitant to put 40% for 10 years on the speculation. You're still not rich. I mean, okay, I have more than $3 million in assets. I'm not rich. Okay. I mean, I'm doing good. I'm pretty wealthy, but I consider rich to be above $10 million, right? Like I could live off of my $3 million. I've got maybe a little bit more than that. I can live off of that and I can have a 6-figure income per year doing nothing, but it doesn't make me rich by any means. Rich is what you can do whatever you want. So, okay, spend whatever kind of money you want. So this is where I'm getting at, guys. So I don't want to bore you, but I want to hit this home so that you can see what's going to happen next here. Okay, which is this: if you have $100,000 to invest, okay, are you putting it all in crypto? Because the chances are with a speculative investment, okay, and let's be honest here. Let's look at cryptocurrency and see what's happened. This is close enough. You can see what happens here. Okay, this is at one point it was worth almost 20,000, right? And then what happens here? Oh, it's looking at Bitdam. It doesn't really matter. If we look at the chart and we look at 1 year, okay, you can see that it's dropped in less than half. It's cut in half, like less than half. Are you going to really take your 100 grand, your only 100 grand you have, and you're going to really put into speculation, right? And let's say that you had $1 million. Are you going to put $1 million into it? So it's all relative, right? And that's why I'm talking about investing over speculating, right? This is the main point. If you guys can get this, this is going to help you immensely in your life with making money. Is that people say you can get rich by speculating, But you can also get rich by betting max bets, by going to the high roller section in the casino and playing roulette or blackjack for $100,000 a hand. It's possible. The problem with it is that if you have the money that you're willing to put that into a speculation, like let's say that your savings is $100,000, how much of that are you willing to gamble with? And that's where I go back to agreeing with the commenter here originally, in the fact that maybe you put 5% at the most into a speculation account. But my point is that the risk tolerance, okay, that allows you to put that 5% when it's $100,000 is $5,000, it's not ever going to make you rich. You have to be able to have the balls to put the $100,000 into the cryptocurrency. And even then, you have to get ridiculous returns, right? Remember, what were our calculations here? Let's just go back to that so you guys can see. $100,000, 10 years to grow, okay? Interest rate of 40% per year to get $3 million. And you're not even really rich. You're retired, but that's 10 years of sweating this shit out, getting 40% returns on a speculation. Not very likely at all, right? And you have to have the balls to take your entire savings and put it in there. For some of you making $100,000, having $100,000 saved up is a lot. Are you going to put it all of it into there, right? That's like me at my level, right? If I were to put $3 million into Bitcoin, I'm not doing that shit. Even if I have 3 million, I'm not putting 1 million in. Are you kidding me? Am I going to risk that for the reward? Because even when we looked at the 1 million number, right, and we looked at, again, I made it more conservative. I can make it even more conservative. That's the risk reward ratio is not worth it to me. That is not worth it. Okay, trying to get 25% for 10 years, it doesn't make sense. There's no way I would be willing to do that. So my whole point is this: the reason why you're never going to make money and get rich speculating is because you will never have the balls to do it, right? Because what happens is you have this divergence, okay, and you have either people that are investing so little that it's not even worth it. And I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about this again. You have $100,000, okay? You put $5,000 into Bitcoin, or what? Not cryptocurrency. I'll give you the 40% return per year for 10 years. Okay, this is what you end up with at the end of this. If we put inflation into all this, you're really fucked. But are you tracking this shit every day, worrying about it, saying I'm a cryptocurrency investor, to follow up on the stupid $5,000 so you can make this ridiculously little bit of cash? You're going to waste a whole bunch of fucking time. You could be building a business. You could be working on other shit. You could be doing something valuable, but you're going to be wasting a whole bunch of time tracking this shit. So that's one extreme, is that it's going to be, a little bit of money, 5%, right? Or even if you had more money, you're like, I would take 10%. Oh, look at you now. Still not worth it. Still not rich. You're either going to put a small amount of money, which is going to guarantee that there's almost absolutely no way that you're going to get rich from it, and you're going to waste a lot of time tracking that speculation, and because you have to track it. An investment, you don't have to track as much. As speculation, you got to be on top of that shit. So you're going to be wasting a whole bunch of energy and time and having hopes, but not unrealistic ones. Because what kind of interest rate would you even speculate to get? Is it better than 40%? Honestly, over 10 years compounded? So that's one extreme. The other extreme is you're like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'm putting in $2 million, motherfuckers. Okay, now you can make some money. Okay, but are you actually going to put in $2 million? Do you have $2 million? You're not going to get rich that way either. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. It's not going to happen. But let me give you, okay, the formula. And if you're anywhere in the middle, you're never going to be in the middle, because you're not going to put you're not going to have $100,000, okay, to your name and put $50,000 into cryptocurrency investment. It doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. That you're taking way too large of a risk. If you believe that it's going to go up that much, you might as well put more of it. You might as well put all of it in there and put 100,000, and then actually end up with $3 million. If you have $100,000 and you're investing in real estate, you put the whole $100,000 in there. Now you're leveraged. I'm not going to even do that math, okay? And and let's say you've got, I'm talking long-term investments. I'm talking 25, 30 years down the road. Let's say 20 years, because we're a little bit impatient. You're in your 20s, you want to be retired by the time you're, in your early 40s. Fair enough. Okay. And let's look at IRRs, irrespective rates of return on real estate, what we would expect on our money here. And realistically, very low numbers, right? With even like 7-8% cap rates, depending on how you do this, is we could be pretty damn conservative and be at like 12, let's say 13%. Okay. But look at this. Now your $100,000 is 1.1 million. Now again, you're not rich by any means. If you do extend this out to 3 years or 30 years, you can, now you're getting closer to it at 4 million. Now inflation is going to fuck you here, so don't but let's stick with the 20-year time period. Okay? And now let's say that every year you're adding another $25,000 that you're investing. Now you're getting up there into some real numbers. But you can see again, right? What I talked about in that other video, how even doing something like this, it's still not quite rich, and it's 20 years. I mean, this is pretty good. Inflation is going to wreck your ass here, so it's not going to be quite as good. You could retire for sure. You could retire. You need some better interest rates, right? That's why I'm saying, like, if you build a business and you make a bunch of money and you invest like $500,000, okay, because you've earned that money. Even if we didn't add anything to it, we're still looking pretty damn good here over 20 years. And if you do add some money, if you're like, oh, you're doing good on business, and every year in the business you add another $100,000, okay, now you're going to definitely be rich, okay. And you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, and you could do this. Okay, if you have a significant amount of money coming in from business, and this return is not hard to get in real estate, you can do better than this. You can honestly do like 15% without even trying very hard. Okay, and then that number goes way up. So that's how you're going to get rich, and it's going to take some time. Okay, and again, I'm going to talk about the wealth triangle, but I want you to understand that why that is so important, and why speculation is stupid and doesn't make any sense. And again, you might say, well, what if I did this with cryptocurrency and I got higher returns on that? Again, you're not going to, even if you have your big ass business and you make the $500,000 initial investment, you're not putting all that into speculation. You'd have to be fucking nuts to do that, because there's a really good chance you could lose it all. It could get cut in half, right? A lot of things, and you're not going to take the $100,000 you're making every year to savings and throwing it into this crypto, especially when the thing is going like this. Okay. That's the other thing. When you're owning real estate, it's going like this. You're pretty stable. You're happy. You're not worried about that shit. If you're holding on to cryptocurrency, I guarantee you're checking that shit every single fucking day, probably 10, 20 times a day, destroying your productivity in life, worrying on a fucking emotional roller coaster all the time. And yes, it does go up and it goes, but when it's at, Bitcoin is at 9,000, and then you have $500,000, or at this point, how many years are you into this shit, and you have whatever $1 million, and you watch that fucking thing drop to 4,500 where it's cut in half, you are going to be shitting yourself. You're probably going to pull it all out. You're probably not going to wait for it to go back up, okay? Because now you're in the severe risk of losing it all. And when it goes down further below that, if you had the balls, now you're really going to feel like shit. You're going to be fucked. You're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to think. You're not going to be able to have sex. You're going to be fucked, okay? So that's why you don't do this. But if you invest in real estate, okay, and you're realistic, every time, one last thing, I keep on making this longer, but I want you guys to understand one last thing here about investing, okay? And I'm not talking out my ass. I've made millions of dollars investing, okay? What I want to tell you is this, is every time that you're looking at some kind of investment or speculation, now you know the difference between these two videos that I've done. I want you to take out this fucking compound interest calculator, or at least get an Excel spreadsheet. And I want you to look, and I want you to think about, how much money am I putting in? How many years am I going to make this investment? And what do I expect to get as a return? Or what would be a good return? What is the best case scenario? What is the worst case scenario for this? Okay. So that you can understand whether you should waste any fucking time. Okay. A lot of you right now that are watching this video, you're like, oh, crypto. And here's what you're fucking doing. You have like I don't know, you don't have shit. You've got like $5,000 to invest total, maybe, okay? And you're putting it all in crypto because you're a fucking idiot, okay? I'm sorry, but you are a fucking idiot, okay? And you're wasting all this time researching all this shit, okay? Because it's going to make you rich, and you haven't even run the fucking numbers, okay? And if you ran them, you would realize even in the very best dream, wet your fucking pants scenario, you ain't going to make shit. You're not going to make a lot of money, okay? But you're wasting all your time. You should be building an actual fucking business, not trying to scam, not trying to get rich quick. You should actually be learning something valuable and building an actual business, creating a YouTube channel, creating a blog, whatever the fuck you want to do, drop ship on Shopify, anything, FBA by Amazon, anything is better than what you're fucking doing with this little tiny bit of capital that you haven't run the numbers on, okay? Fucking waste of fucking time. Here's what you need to do. Go bust your ass, go get a really good fucking paying job, become a software developer and make $200,000 a year, or build a fucking business. Come to me when you have this number. Okay, I mean, heck, you could do it with this number. When you have 100,000, let's get started here. Okay, and then let's start putting $50,000 a month. Okay, I mean, not a month, a year into real estate. And let's give ourselves 25 years, okay, knowing that we could probably do it in 20. And let's be conservative and try to hit a 15% IRR on our real estate, which is highly, highly doable. Okay. And let's get fucking rich, motherfuckers. Now let's make $15 million. That's a great idea. This makes sense. Stop fucking around. I'm done. As Elliot Hulse would say. Subscribe.